Hi, I'm Adam Harder. I'm the co-founder and CEO of InPress, which is the first news-based matchmaking and social platform which launched right here in DC and just 6 months ago and just launched in New York City 2 weeks ago. So I founded InPress originally 6 years ago while I was an active duty Air Force broadcast journalist. And I was looking to find a way to incentivize media literacy because I was doing a master's in journalism at Syracuse University. And it challenged us to solve a problem in the media with technology. So even back in 2015, it was very clear by then with the apex of Facebook and Twitter that people who I knew back in Ohio, where I was from, were having their realities warped by a consistent newsfeed that always agreed with them, with sensationalist content, and were building echo chambers around them, which was not only making them less educated, but was also making them more isolated. And I thought that's what I wanted to solve for. It was always my dream to get out of the Air Force as a journalist and become a journalist in the civilian world, as they say. But I was starting to realize that if objective factual information was losing value, then what are the career prospects for that industry? And not only that, but what are the prospects for us to be able to continue to communicate in an understanding way at scale as society? So I decided that's what I was going to do. And I basically thought that the most addictive part of these algorithms is that they always tell us exactly what we want to hear. They agree with us, or they just keep us angry and scared. So what if we could beat these algorithms at their own game, except by perpetuating engagement with fear and anger, we could do it with community and love and connection. And that's where the idea for this came in. We show on InPress a newsfeed every day to a user in a local area, meaning that everyone, in this case in DC, sees the same articles on a given day. Now, they can choose to read and not read what they want, but every single article is vetted, factual, accountable with our third-party aggregation service. And what happens is, choose to read and not read what you want, but when you do, we'll ask you, how does this article make you feel? How interesting is it to you? How important is it to you? And what we're really doing is we're scraping the keywords and topics from these articles and weighting your sentiment analysis against that. So let's just say there's 1,000 words per article, but 200 of those are keywords. That's what we're retaining. You just gave us 3 emojis as a reaction and interest and an importance rating. That's 5x sentiment analysis times 200 insights. That's 1,000 insights per article in total. You can imagine that it doesn't take us long to not just figure out someone's core interests, but what their weird and wonderful unique differentiators are of them as a whole person. And that is a conduit for matching on InPress. So despite us being a startup that just took off the ground in August 2024, we have already been getting some serious traction. As you can see in our slides that we have been picked up by the Drew Barrymore Show. The New York Times is interviewing us, Axios, Guardian. We've been featured by all these outlets, even though we're just a couple of thousand users in what was just one city for the past 6 months and now in New York as well. Our traction is phenomenal. We have 4.2 thousand users already with an 8.8 minute session length. That is compared to TikTok, which has 3 minutes and 50 seconds average session length. People are sticking around because they are intrigued by the prospect of our new subconscious matchmaking. And as a journalist once described it to me, because we're only showing factual information as the data informant for that connection, we're basically Trojan horsing media literacy into people. And I am not shying away from that fact. That is absolutely true. We're trying to get people to engage with factual information by bringing them together. The great part about this is that you can't bucket InPress into dating apps or news apps or social media apps. We are a net new category that we are calling compatibility as a service. And where the opportunity lies here is that we get to pull aspects of all those business plans and create our own net new thing. And with that net new thing comes all new features that have never existed before. For instance, if you have an InPress account and you are sitting or standing by someone else who does, you can pull up your profile and have them scan your profile QR code and instantly see what your subconscious interests are with this person on any given time and your match percentage. Because bear in mind, when you see profiles on InPress, you instantly see what your top shared interests are, and those can change every day. The reason that users keep reading on InPress is because the more they do, the better their matches become. So you might match on sports one day, and then it becomes Yankees, and then it becomes Derek Jeter. And the more juicy those insights become, the easier it is for you to break the ice. Another feature that is bolstering the stickiness of this new social environment we're creating is in-score levels, which is the first gamification of news. You kind of think of it like Duolingo, but for being well-read. All of these have coalesced into a hyper-valuable younger audience that, frankly, bigger outlets than us are trying to get into. The Wall Street Journal, The Atlantic have all reached out to us already asking how can they get their content on InPress, despite us being a small team and, frankly, not even without investment, having the capability to make those partner profiles. It's because the average Gen Z reads 0.5 articles a week. The average millennial reads 0.9 articles a week. InPress users on average read 8.6 articles a week. And by the way, 94% of our user base is millennial or younger, which means that our average user base, their age is 30. The average US news subscriber is 47. So it should make a lot of sense why these bigger outlets want a piece of what we have. Our total addressable market of 60 million users is 5.5 times bigger than that of the New York Times subscriber base and much bigger than Hinge's subscriber base of 23 million users. We have numerous revenue streams for InPress, but first, with your investment, we are obviously going to launch premium subscriptions next month in April of 2025. And what that means is, yes, we still have a lot of those same efficient matchmaking features that you can expect on other matchmaking apps, but included in that are these partnerships with these premium outlets who want to lower their paywalls and give them to our users. So we have a much stronger premium offering to our users. In addition to that, think about this data. We're asking people, how do things make them feel? How interesting, how important are they to you? That's not a +1, -1 metric like a TikTok swipe or an Instagram heart. In the words of Axios's director of audience, this data will change their industry because any B2B business will want to know, say, I don't know, how a 29-year-old African-American male in Southern Kansas who is gay and who is a business operator wants to know. You want to know how they feel about consuming red dye number 5. What emotions do they feel about sustainability? We have that data and it's non-inferential. And people keep going through the laborious inputs to tell us those things because it's self-serving. The more they do, the better the matches become. So unlike Nielsen, where you can get a single data report, we have a never-ending amorphous data cloud that our B2B partners can tap into to see real-time, hyper-accurate sentiment analysis at any given point. That is our long-term revenue model. The last piece of revenue that I'll leave you with is our match ads. You can see on the newsfeed that we will have ads, of course, but we'll actually ask the user, how did this ad make you feel? How interesting is it? How important is it? So now we get to sell ad space and that non-inferential sentiment analysis back to the advertiser. So we're raising $500,000 angel round. We're considering it our bridge to seed round. Minimum $25,000 investment, 20% discounted safe, the $12 million cap. This money is going to help us not just build out our first monetization, which is these premium features, but also build out stickier features like quicker article ratings or groups, which are going to build out the social aspect of this product. So yes, we have seen some very exciting metrics like 50,000 articles read and 37,000 articles rated. And we've gotten all that done on a shoestring budget of $135,000 from friends and family investment and a team that I can count on one hand. Imagine what we can do with your investment to build out these more engaging features and premium, by the way, which is an economy in and of itself because we can create virality by incentivizing free premium perks, share with your friends. We can do all of this by the end of Q2 with your investment. So I invite you to join us on our mission to make facts more profitable and appealing than rage bait online, and welcome to the Newsway to Connect.